Well, Vault is more than just your browsing data. So there are four main pillars that we address with our product. Vault allows people to capture, secure, interact with, and eventually monetize their own data. This, of course, includes browsing data, but it also includes geolocation, purchase information, your credit score, your biometrics, health data, anything that may have a digital record associated with you. We address all of these in parallel, and we've created a secure, cryptographically secure vault where you can sort of vacuum up all of this data, have it for yourself, and then simultaneously make sure that nobody else has it.
In crypto, timing is everything. But most investors, they're chasing hype, gambling, and losing. That's where Tokenomics AI changes the game. Join tens of thousands of investors who've taken their portfolios to the moon and beyond.
The Keystone wallet is the wallet that you want to be using to keep your crypto safe. Whether you are a Bitcoin maxi or an altcoin lover, it is perfect for you. Easy to use, 3 secure elements, and integrates easily with MetaMask, Kepler, and dozens of other extension wallets. Get one now to keep your crypto safe and secure. Go to bit.ly/CryptoRichKeystone. Hey, Zach, thank you so much for making yourself available.
Hey, Rich, great to be here. Thank you.
Yes, you are the CEO, the founder, the lead, the something or other of Vault, VALT, another badly spelt crypto project.
Yes, indeed. I am the founder CEO of Vault. We explicitly decided to spell it VALT as a differentiating factor and hoping to get to the top of App Store searches.
Okay.
When people type in that specific thing. Of course, App Store optimization is a rabbit hole, and that didn't really quite work out that way yet, but that's the idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And the V and the A and the logo look kind of cool too.
That's very good.
Like,
very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is Vault?
Vault is an app that will help people get paid for their data. So one of the biggest elephants in the room in the information age is that everybody controls your information except for you. And this is fundamentally the problem that we're addressing. So there's this shadowy industry called the data brokerage industry. And these companies that are data brokers collect your information behind your back without your permission and sell that information without your consent. A lot of people at this point are aware of the existence of data brokers, but most people are not aware that data brokers make collectively $500 billion per year with these business practices. This is like 5 apples, right? Their net annual profits combined. This is an absolutely absurd issue that we're addressing head on because we think that $500 billion belongs to the people that create the data and not to companies that steal it for a living.
Okay, and what sort of data do they collect and how do they collect it?
They collect everything, anything they can get their hands on. Generally, they'll start with basic information like your name, your address. They'll know about your family members, your income, your interests, and they'll sell this data to the highest bidder. Generally, for advertising purposes, if you get a lot of spam calls, more likely than not, your data is at large on the internet.
Okay, but how do they collect it?
Anytime you visit a website and you accept all cookies, you're basically selling your soul. So this is a massive sort of like way that they can mine data. Websites generally have agreements with data brokers that if they acquire like dubious or lazy consent from users, then they can monetize every click stroke on this website. But a good friend of mine from Sentinel also is he plays a lot of mobile games and sent me a screenshot of this mobile game that he downloaded, and there's this disclaimer of like, we're going to sell your data to all these people, and you can just keep scrolling, right? And so it's you download an app on your phone that's like a some kind of game, and in the background it's tracking your location, your app usage, all kinds of stuff.
Okay, so let's just talk a bit about what happens in the back end, because if I go to a website certainly in the UK and the European Union, do I accept or reject cookies? And normally I reject them.
Good.
Really. And then there's some newspaper websites that say, oh, if you want to reject them, you have to take a paid subscription. Now, you're right. But if I were to accept them, then what? I'm not technical. What do the cookies do? And then what happens in the back end?
So they will put like a signature in your browser that they can then use to track different things like which websites you visit and what you do on particular sites. And the methodology is very wildly. Something as simple as a tracking pixel to something more robust like malware. So it's very important to stay vigilant about these things. And Vault has implemented a suite of tools that not only help people protect their data, but collect their data for the first time.
Okay,
So
we'll come to Vault in a second, right? But I just want to get clear on what the issue is, so
yeah,
that so then they'll know, for example, that I go to a cycling website occasionally because
they
I'm
know that.
cycling, right? I read Zero Hedge, or I check out the weather, what's going to happen tomorrow, and what cycling gear I need to wear, right? In
Yeah.
my pack. So then
Not
they'll
only do they know that, they can predict the next thing that you're going to do as a result of all that information with very high accuracy.
That's amazing because they aggregate all the data. But then, so then that website with its cookies collects the data, and then where do they take it to? Who are these data brokers? How do they transact?
Some of the largest data brokers are companies that a lot of people are familiar with, like TransUnion and Experian. These are some of the biggest players in space, but there are tens of thousands of these businesses, and it's very shady. It's hard to get a comprehensive list of all of them, frankly. Um, I think we identified healthcare.com as a very major data broker. So yeah, they're oftentimes hiding in plain sight. And frankly, your grocery store is probably selling information to data brokers. At this point, every service in our world is brokeraging information about you without your permission.
Right. Okay. So then they collect this data, and then they're able to target. So then I'm not on Facebook, but if I were, I would get ads about cycling and, I don't know,
Yeah,
cycling gear or whatever for when it rains because I'm in England, right?
yeah,
Okay. And then an occasional stuff that might be relevant to Zero Hedge readers.
absolutely. Well, and if you have something like an Amazon Alexa at your house, um, that's good. I'm glad that you don't, because this is basically a corporate spy that you place in your kitchen table. There are thousands of keywords that it's listening for all the time. And as soon as somebody says one of these keywords, it immediately pings to relevant ad networks that, oh, Rich is about to buy some cycling gear, or Rich is about to do this or that. And if it can be monetized, then it will be.
Okay, Rich is about to go on Zero Hedge. Quick, send him to the BBC instead.
Yeah, right.
God no. Okay, all right. So then, what's the harm in that? Because then these companies are serving me. They're presenting me with products that might be useful for me.
Sure. Yeah. And a lot of people appreciate targeted ads. I mean, I, for one, would rather see ads that are interesting to me than ads that aren't interesting to me. So some of it is relatively benign. However, some of it is, frankly, quite dangerous. So, you're probably aware of this somewhat recent story of a U.S. politician who was assassinated, she and her husband, I think from Minnesota or one of the northern states. And the shooter, the assassin, acquired this woman's address, name, personal information from a data brokerage website. And so, if somebody wants to, they can kind of pull the curtain back from behind your back and get information that they should have no business being able to access as a result of data brokers existing.
Right, right, okay. Well, actually, there's something that happens, I suppose, where I'm no longer contained and sovereign over myself and my information and my knowledge and my
Yep.
habits. It becomes diffused and spread out that anybody can access and then intrude into my life.
Yes, exactly. And this is a massive problem that is begging to be solved. And in the future, it will obviously be solved. We envision a future where people genuinely have control of their data. Each individual person has the ability to know more about themselves than any private corporation does. Um, yeah, this is the world that we are trying to cultivate. And we're trying to align this altruistic mission with the machinery of capitalism to make it happen.
Right, okay. So then what does Volt do? I'm going to guess.
Go
So
for it.
Volt is between, so there's me and the website I'm going to, and then there's the cookies in the back end, and Volt is between the website and the cookies.
Well, Vault is more than just your browsing data. Vault allows you to, so there are four main pillars that we address with our product. Vault allows people to capture, secure, interact with, and eventually monetize their own data. And this, of course, includes browsing data, but it also includes geolocation, purchase information, your credit score, your biometrics, health data, anything really that you can think of, anything that may have a digital record associated with you. It's a piece of information relevant to data brokers. And so we address all of these in parallel. Social media activity, and we've created a secure, cryptographically secure vault where you can sort of vacuum up all of this data, have it for yourself, and then simultaneously make sure that nobody else has it.
Okay. So now is this product, this application, is it live?
Yes. Yeah, we have about 16. Well, we had 16,000 users yesterday. Now we have about 17,000 users today. So we're growing very, very fast. We're live on iOS, Android, Mac OS, Windows, and we have a Chrome and Safari extension. So we want to help people in every environment that we can take control of their digital sovereignty.
And if I were to use this application, that would mean that I wouldn't need to reject or accept cookies because Vault would take care of that.
Not yet, although that is something that's on our product roadmap, like automatically rejecting all cookies. It's potentially low-hanging fruit that would be massively useful because they make it difficult. Like one does not simply reject all cookies. You have to go into the settings and then explicitly untick like thousands of these boxes, and most people are like, "Fuck it, go ahead, take my data. I don't care. It's out there anyway." And indeed, like I think a lot of people, although they may be aware of these data practices, have resigned to the fact that they are not in control of their data. They don't see a good solution for fixing that problem, and so we're solving that problem for people.
Okay, so then I would go. The website is valt.io.
Valtdata.com.
Valtdata.com, and I'll have the links in the description below. So I go to the website, I download the application, and then what it does, it boxes in my data.
Yes.
And
So we have
leak.
we have sort of a suite of tools that enable people to exercise their data sovereignty. One of the most important tools is our DVPN. Now, most people have heard of a VPN. We have a DVPN, and the D stands for decentralized. And this is a crucial distinction. So the VPN industry is very well established now. I think it's a $50 billion per year industry or something to that order of magnitude. And the unfortunate thing is that many of the top brands in the space are shared by the same owners. It's essentially a cartel. And VPN companies, they'll often have something like a strict no logging policy where they pinky promise that they're not stealing your data.
They'd never lie. Corporations never lie, Zach.
They never lie. I've never caught a corporation lie before. No, they're egregiously stealing your data, even though they say that they're not. And many times they are monetizing it behind your back, just the same as anybody else. Or worse, turning it over to government authorities as soon as it's demanded, which defeats the purpose of a VPN. And so we use Web3 technology. In my opinion, this is one of the best use cases of Web3 to obfuscate these DVPN connections so that there is no central point of vulnerability. There's no place where the UK government can go, "Hey, Vault, give me all of Crypto Rich's data." We can genuinely say we don't even have access to it ourselves. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah. So the Vault decentralized VPN is built on the Sentinel blockchain.
Yes.
And Sentinel is a blockchain that's part of the Cosmos IBC ecosystem.
Yep.
And it's fully decentralized, and people can run Vault nodes off their laptop and provide bandwidth to the service and get paid in P2P, which is the coin of Sentinel. And also you can buy into that service using P2P or fiat, and then you can obfuscate encrypt the traffic that goes in and out of your computer so nobody knows where you are. So for example, if you're in France and you want to watch rumble.com, you're not allowed to because the government wants to protect you from Rumble. And in the UK, they want to protect us from BitChute. Thank heaven, we're so lucky, right? However, if you're one of these bad people, you can use a decentralized VPN to watch what's going on Rumble and BitChute. If you're in those two nations, right? God forbid, right? So then, and that has all sorts of applications in other less authoritarian regimes like Saudi Arabia and China, right? Where they still have some freedom compared to France and the UK. So, and because there's no centralized point of failure, they can't be, like you said, they can't be captured or controlled. Fully decentralized. It's like I suppose the Bitcoin equivalent, but in the VPN space.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Precisely.
So you offer a decentralized VPN service that uses the P2P coin, or
yes.
Coin? Or use the P2P coin?
Sentinel is our backend, and everything that happens on our DVPN is ultimately remediated by P2P and the technology and the community that Sentinel has been building since 2017. They have, by far, the largest, most robust DVPN service. They're really the only DVPN service if you're serious about having a decentralized VPN. So,
Zach,
we're,
I just going to say, like I told you, I interviewed Alexander Lee-Trev,
yeah,
who's the founder of Norse Labs, which is building on the Sentinel blockchain, and they have Sentinel has over 1 million users. They've just gone over 1 million users in the last few
yeah,
months or so. And I hold DVPN, which is now P2P, and I've been holding it, I think since 2018, or when it was an ERC20 token. So people should go and check out that interview. It's just loads of information in there. So you got the DVPN, and then
yes.
what are the other applications that you have?
So another service that we provide people is data erasure services. So if you've heard of companies like Delete Me or Incogni,
Mhm.
these companies will reach out to data brokers on your behalf and force them to remove the data that they have about you and your family members. And they will do this on a regular cadence, so that if somehow they nefariously reacquire your data, we make sure that it stays deleted. And our data erasure services are competitive with Delete Me and Incogni in terms of the number of data brokers that we cover. But we provide this at a fraction of the cost. This is part of our sort of Vault Plus premium package, which comes with the DVPN and all of the other features that we are currently providing and building out.
Okay, so there's that. What else?
And then the final, sort of innovation that we're bringing to the table is completely novel. It's our personal database, and this allows people to actually see and interact with all of the data that they create. And so I've been collecting my data in my personal data vault for over 2 years now, and if I want to, I can go back and see exactly what my heart rate was on New Year's Eve, the moment that the ball dropped in New York City. Um, and what we're working on right now is implementing an AI assistant that has a rich understanding of this mountain of data, so that you can ask questions to your AI like, hey, when was the last time I was in Dubai? How much money did I spend on the Las Vegas trip? When was the last time I texted my mom? Um, so you can effectively Google your own behavior for the first time, which is incredibly useful. It's like having a personal assistant with perfect recall and
Wow,
complete privacy.
that is also incredibly useful, and can also be incredibly embarrassing and shameful as well, depending on what you've got up to.
Right. Well, the good news is nobody can see it except for you.
Okay, it's all encrypted. So how does that work? Is it you're uploading material to this, or it's collecting from the cookies?
So the way that our personal database works is we have a ton of integrations with a whole bunch of different services. So if you want to collect your Facebook data, you log in with Facebook on the Vault app, authorize Vault to see your likes and posts and comments, and then the Vault app will start in the background grabbing all of this data so that you can reference it yourself. And we have integrations with Gmail, Chrome, Safari. We have an integration with Plaid so that you can capture your banking data. You can, of course, authorize location, and we have a ton of APIs. We're adding more all the time, and so it's the onus is completely on the user as to like which data that they want to collect for themselves. But of course, if you want your personal database to be as useful as possible and your AI assistant to be as helpful as possible, then users are intrinsically motivated to attach as many of these data sources to their vault as possible.
Okay, and then is it possible for you then to sell on some of that data if you wish to?
Yes. So right now, Vault is a freemium app. If you use Vault for free, then our DVPN is supported by ads. You'll have to watch an ad every so often in order to continue your DVPN connection. But we have a premium tier, Vault Plus, which gets rid of the ads, introduces data erasure, and we have an even more premium tier on top of that, which we're calling Vaultimate, which 10x is the data brokerage coverage. We also support custom data erasure requests. So if you see your data somewhere out on the internet and you want it gone, you can just hit us up, and we have an actual live human being assigned to your account specifically, and they will take it upon themselves to make sure that that data is erased from the internet. So these are our premium features. We are charging $9.99 per month and $19.99 per month, respectively, for these. But the grand vision of Vault is to build a decentralized, consensual personal data marketplace where any individual can directly sell pieces of their information to the organizations that they trust, with nobody in between, no data brokers in between. And at scale, this will eclipse any kind of revenue that we're generating from our premium subscriptions. And so what we want to do is offer the DVPN completely for free. We want to offer data erasure completely for free and have that subsidized by the data marketplace. We think this is a basic privacy is a basic human right. And so creating the economic engine to make these things free for people is going to be a great good for the world.
Right. Okay. So the and the DVPN is free on Windows and Mac and Android and iOS.
Yep.
Wow. Well, listen, anybody who's watching, you really don't have any reason not to get yourself a DVPN, right? Because completely okay. You might have to endure some ads, but we endure them on Google and Zero Hedge anyway, right? And we give away our privacy on those platforms. So, and then the other thing I forgot to mention earlier, that people can go and purchase, if you're a bit savvy about crypto, and it's certainly worth getting savvy about crypto, go and purchase some P2P. You stake it, you keep it in your wallet, and then you're earning rewards, and you get enough P2P, and then those rewards you can then use to buy some of the other services that you offer.
Yep, precisely. And, I appreciate the metaphor that you made to Bitcoin a moment ago. Bitcoin is obviously a very useful, interesting, miraculous feature of the world that we're living in right now. But one of the things that sucks about Bitcoin is, at the end of the day, miners and validators are doing random math problems that are not useful in any way to anybody. They're just wasting electricity. And the Sentinel blockchain, instead of having like random math problems that it's solving in order to validate the chain, instead has essentially smart contracts that enable people to sell their excess internet bandwidth. And so all of this computation that is giving the P2P value is also sort of like computationally useful. Again, this is why I think it's maybe one of the best use cases for Web3 currently.
Yeah, it absolutely is. When people say to me, yeah, but crypto doesn't have any real world applications. Let me tell you about Sentinel.
Right.
Do you, your code for the DVPN will be open source, but what about for the other applications?
So we're currently not open source. We have some secret sauce in terms of how our marketplace works and how our sort of analytics are structured. The marketplace is an interesting thing because on the one hand, obviously, we want to make sure that users' data is completely private. But on the other hand, we want to set up a marketplace where organizations can buy data. And so we need to have some idea of what data is available in our ecosystem. And walking that tightrope where privacy is not compromised, but we can still have high-level insights about the Vault ecosystem and the data marketplace that we're building is a non-trivial technical problem. It's essentially a significant technical moat that we're using to build out our business. Of course, we need to make money in order to grow, to achieve our goals, and ultimately offer all of these features for free. So at some point in the future, we will open source our code, but that is not the case right now.
Right. But there's no risk to anybody who's using your service of having their data compromised by the fact that it's closed source. Like, for example, some password managers are closed source. Centralized VPNs are closed source.
Right, exactly.
So I can't see if there's any gaps or anything, right?
Right.
Is there any sort of risk like that with your code that's closed source?
Absolutely not. Vault's architecture is structured in a way that even Vault personnel cannot see anybody's personal data, unless they, of course, are Vault users, and then they can see only their own data. We don't have access to anybody's data, and if a bad actor somehow got a hold of our servers, they wouldn't be able to access anybody's data either. Indeed, even with a quantum computer, our algorithms are completely quantum resistant. So it's one of the most secure vaults for your data currently available on the internet.
Okay, now, how so? How can I, because you're just asking me to accept your word on this.
Sure.
If I can't check the code, then how do I know?
Right. We will be releasing a white paper here in the near future. So for those technically minded, look forward to that. Stay tuned. But the reality is 99% of people, even with an open source GitHub repo, wouldn't be able to ascertain any value out of that. Right. And so, it's a little bit moot. I think open sourcing is more signaling good faith than actually providing any value to people. But the white paper will, it'll describe our technology with enough detail that people can have confidence without giving away trade secrets. Now, but one way that you can be sure is by just thinking about our business model. There's a very strong alignment of interests, right? If we're creating a data marketplace where we want you to be able to monetize your own data, and we're taking a small cut of each of these transactions, then it becomes in our best interest to maximize the value of your data. And as per supply and demand, the more your data is at large, or the more that somebody could access your data, the less it's worth. And so, by setting up our business the way that we have an economic interest to keep your data as secure as possible, even including internally, right? Because I mean, if there was some kind of internal vulnerability, that's a massive sort of like existential risk for our organization, where it just makes much more sense to remove that as a possibility completely. And I explicitly have built a lot of this architecture such that if I got hit by a bus and my team carried on this mission, that no leader of this company in the future would ever be able to alter that. So
Right.
it is permanently safe for anybody who wants to keep their data in their vault.
Okay. Now, how is this being funded? You're giving away this stuff for free. It's not cheap. So how are you being funded?
Sure. It's largely self-funded. We're mostly bootstrapped, and Sentinel has been incubating Vault, and so they give us some deep discounts on the DVPN functionality and things like this. But a lot of the funding comes directly out of pocket. Now, that said, we're raising our seed round right now. We have a verbal commitment for a lead investor on our round. Gain Ventures shout out. So this is very exciting, and this will allow us to really turbocharge our mission. But we've set up our business to sort of be a two-phase thing. The first phase is acquiring 10 million users, because this is the minimum number of users really that we need in order for our data marketplace to be enriched enough that people can start monetizing their data.
Right.
And so to go from 20,000 users, which we have now, to 10 million, we have the premium subscription to subsidize our business. We need about 10,000 paid subscriptions before the founding team can have salaries, and we basically have perpetual runway. Now, when we have our 10 million users, we can start to remove the paid subscriptions, and it's fully subsidized by the marketplace. So that's sort of the funding stack on a high level.
Okay. And then how are you going to get the word out? Because I looked in your Telegram, it's tiny.
Yes,
I found you, I think, by accident or something, right? And
glad you did.
I know about some of the other Sentinel DVPNs, like Freaknik's been a regular guest on my channel. So
Yeah, good friend of
you
mine.
doing? Yes. What are you doing to get yourself out there?
So our Telegram and Discord communities are currently very small because we just started them a few months ago.
Right.
So anybody listening, please come join our Discord Telegram. Now, what we're going to do is have a test net where we're going to offer rewards for people joining our communities and increasing engagement, connecting more data sources, referral programs, and things like this. Um, one of the magical things about Web3 is it's almost like any retail investor can become a micro VC. And by purchasing, we're also going to do a TGE at some point in the future, Vaultcoin, which will be the medium of exchange for the data marketplace.
Mhm.
And so using Web3 technologies to build these communities is just a nice, easy sort of layup for us that we're very excited about. We think we can drive a lot of value for crypto investors. That's going to be a huge piece in getting the word out. But then we're also doing, we're doing social, organic, but we recently started doing just paid ads with Google, and that's been really amazing. Like we've seen a tremendous amount of traction with not a lot of ad spend. I think our customer acquisition cost right now is like 3 cents, and so
Wow.
our growth this month has been like 400%, and that's really really exciting for us.
And I think what's also exciting is that you're going into the non-legacy space instead of being stuck in a crypto echo chamber on the blockchain.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? Like I love the Web3 space, but it is very much of an echo chamber, and it's like the things being built are for crypto people, and it's ignoring 99% of the world's population. And we explicitly, when building this product, wanted to not build something that's just for crypto native folks. Most people may not have any idea that they're using blockchain technology when they use Vault. We accept payment for our premium subscriptions in fiat because it makes it easier for your mom and your grandma to download Vault and start using it. They don't need a wallet or a huge knowledge base of how to use the thing. And I think that's great for the crypto world because it's a bridge between everybody else, and then our space. We think we can bring millions of people on chain with what we're doing.
This slowly seductive model of
Right.
bringing all these no coiners and say, oh, it's brighter here where there's Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah. Oh, there's so much freedom.
There's so much
Can you
freedom.
smell the liberty? Yeah.
Yes. Now, if someone's using another Sentinel application as a DVPN, can they still use the other features that you have?
Of course. Yeah. Our suite of tools are at the user's discretion. So you can choose to use the DVPN or not. You can choose to use the personal database or not. It's completely up to the user, and they're orthogonal to each other. And so it's sort of an a la carte buffet of data sovereignty tools that the user is free to employ it however they want to.
Very good. And just to reiterate, your decentralized VPN is completely free.
Yeah.
And
incredible deal.
Easy to use and install, or do I need to be able to use coding and go to my terminal on my Mac and do all
download the APK and hack the mainframe? No. All you need to do is go to your favorite app store and search for Vault, VALT, DVPN. We're going to be the top hit. Our logo is a cool V. And you download it and you're in, and you get a free connection in less than a minute. And we think that the app itself looks really sexy too in terms of VPNs. I think it's one of the better ones. Of course, I'm biased.
Of course you are. Of course. No, well, I'd say no. You're speaking objectively. You're speaking objectively, right?
We have cool features like when you're looking at different nodes that you can connect to. It has the time of day for that node. Like if you zoom into where is it nighttime right now? If you zoom into South Korea, it's going to be at night, and it will show you what time zone it is and what time it is. So if you're trying to watch some geo-restricted content in Korea, something's going to be live at a certain point. You can see, what time it is in that time zone. Okay. So just like little nice details that are sort of more than the sum of their parts. Our head of product has done a great job putting the user experience together.
Okay, and then if somebody wants to provide bandwidth for the DVPN, is it also easy to download the application and run that on all the systems?
That is also in our product roadmap. We don't have that yet, but what we want to do is make hosting a node in the Sentinel network as easy as pressing a button. So your grandma could sell her internet bandwidth and make crypto very easily without any technical knowledge.
Yeah, well, Granny would like that. She wants to stack more sats. She's a Granny. Okay, Zach, is there anything else you want to let us know?
Not right at this moment, but it's been a pleasure talking to you. And I hope to maybe touch base in 6 months and keep the conversation going.
Yeah, and maybe sooner. Please don't be shy about reaching out to me. I've always got space for Sentinel projects. I think they're absolutely brilliant. Freaknik reaches out to me, and so that's great. And even before Alexander took over the helm of Sentinel, I featured Sentinel loads. So it's a project that I think is really important and growing importance and significance.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you something funny. You may have heard about the Online Safety Act in the UK. Which is, if people want to go to certain websites, they have to verify their age.
Right.
This makes sense, if you want to make sure that children don't access inappropriate material.
Sure.
But one of the things that's happened is, for example, there's a cycling forum that isn't able to doesn't have the funds to put in age verification to restructure their website, so they've stopped running. So
wow.
So things like that. Websites that offer mental health support for people who are feeling suicidal.
Right. These services are ceasing to operate because of the paranoia of online.
No, they don't have the funds to restructure and put in verification. And they're getting picked out by Ofcom, which is the regulatory authority. So the government brought this in, and just before it was in effect, lots and lots of members of parliament downloaded VPNs, and then what they're doing is they're putting the cost of those VPNs as an expense for us as taxpayers to pay for.
Oh my God. Oh,
what?
Yeah.
I'm paying for you to have access, and I'm
Yeah.
not allowed to have access. I don't get it paid for.
It's egregious, man, and my heart goes out for our friends across the pond because we can see that censorship is this encroaching thing in Europe, especially in the UK, but also in Germany. Freedom of speech is in retreat, and it freaks me out because as a child of Western civilization, this was one of the things that I could always just understand is I'm allowed to say whatever. It's probably going to be stupid, but I'm allowed to say it. God damn it! And now we're in a world where I have to kind of like. Somebody was telling me about a comedian. I think not even from the UK, right? Like, or not from Britain, but he went to Las Vegas, wrote some stuff on X, and then as soon as he landed in Heathrow, 5 armed security guards were there to arrest him for a tweet that he did outside of the country. It's absurd. He's not even a British citizen.
He's an Irish citizen.
Yeah,
he wrote a very successful and popular sitcom comedy series.
Ugh.
And he just said something. What was it? He said that if something like if a trans woman goes into a women's toilet and he refuses to leave, and the women won't, and the police refuse to come, the women should punch him in the balls.
Jail.
So he got questioned by the terrorist police.
Oh my God, man!
Wow.
Yeah, this is
So
something.
there you go. We arrest more people in Britain. 300 people a day are arrested for stuff they've posted online, memes and stuff. It's 400 a year in Russia, which has a significantly larger population.
Yeah, and you would kind of expect that from Russia, right? But like not from the UK. These are shared values of Western civilization again, and they're currently under fire. It makes my blood boil.
Yes, well, we have Keir Starlin as our prime minister, but hopefully not for long. And then we'll have some other authoritarian monkey to deal with. Okay, Zach, is there anything else you want to say before we finish up? Anything we haven't covered?
Yeah, there was something that popped into my head a second ago, but now I've forgotten what it is. I hate when that happens, but I guess that's a really good excuse to jump on a call here in the near future.
Absolutely. Please don't be shy. Reach out to me. I'd love to have you back on and find out what's happening with Vault. It's Valtdata.com. I'll have the links in the description below. Follow them on X. Go check out their Telegram or their Discord. Get your free DVPN. Get it now and install it now. It's free. And protect your data.
There's no reason not to.
No reason not to. Crypto Rich and Vault Data. Zach signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care.